Hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, it's finally warmed up a little bit. The last video I did talking about don't get your pearl to swine. It was freezing in this truck. Like I had to do this truck in like 10-degree weather. I'm like, shoot, I'm trying not to shake out here. So it's a little warmer in the truck. So God wanted me to speak on, he wanted me to speak on two things that serve the Sabbath. So I'm speaking on it now, dealing with Trump. And then, yeah, just a little bit on what I was saying at first about the don't give your pearl to swine, don't give your dogs to what is holy. I'm starting to get a little memory. I'm like, okay, what is it? I think it's in Matthew 6:7. I'm thinking I remember it too. Y'all, cause God took my memory, y'all. Like he wiped me all the way out. So now he putting the verses and putting everything back in me, but I'm not gonna be quoting scripture out the top of my head because he did do that to me. He wiped me clean like amnesia. And even with me growing up as a kid and being in church all that time, he erased everything. So now he teaching me the way he want to teach me. So I'm remembering Matthew 6:7. Don't give your pearl to swine. Don't give what is holy to dogs, because they gonna trample you. And that's my interpretation. Okay. So God want me to say that. Well, what's been going on? I've been having a lot of dreams too. I've been seeing a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot going on because he come to me like all week consistently with a lot of stuff. So, and I do warn it. So, I like God. He gonna give me the rundown, and God is giving me the rundown. I'm gonna say this much. I'm finna say that if God telling you to get back in school or whatever he telling you to do, you need to reposition yourself. You need right now. God is giving you grace. You need to be trying to reposition yourself. You need to be trying to reposition yourself. I'm going to say that. You need to be out here trying to, God giving you grace, and it's a real thin line. So you need to be trying to hurry up. Like, it's a sense of urgency for you to go and reposition yourself. So if he telling you go to school, whatever he telling you do, you need to be trying to do that right now. You don't have too much time to do it. Before what come catch up with you, and then you directly impacted by what's going on. If he tell you do anything, you need to be trying to reposition yourself, realign yourself, because the position that you in, is not gonna get you to the next level. It's not gonna get you there. So now is the time for you to reposition yourself, realign yourself, because that's the only way. What you doing now ain't gonna work. And this is why I be stressed to my kids. Cause they don't have to, cause like I think they kind of just feel like, and I'm like, will you wake up? But y'all wake up out here, like this, what you think it's gonna be in 5-10 years? Like what? So the same pressure I'm putting on my kids, I'm putting on y'all too. So I think I'm getting in that early a little bit. Cause first it was just like, but now I think I might be making a little sense. I'm outside of time, so when I be speaking, what I say don't never make sense because I'm outside of time. But when you see time catching up with what I'm talking about, then you gonna have a rude awakening. Like, yeah, I need to be doing something. So I'm letting y'all know this, and I be having a lot of dreams all week. Reposition yourself, realign yourself. If he tell you go to school, he tell you pick up a trade, whatever God has instructed you to do during this time, that's gonna be what get you to the next level. Like, you're not gonna make it doing what you're doing now, and where we in the direction that we going into, you just not gonna make it. Like, it just not gonna work. It's gonna be impossible. And if you don't heed to the warning, you're gonna learn the hard way. It ain't gonna work. I'm giving you a heads up, and I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna work. What you doing now, it ain't gonna work. So you need to reposition yourself, realign yourself, pray to God, see what God telling you to do, how he telling you to move out here so you can be in alignment with the future demands. I'm like, either you gonna swim or you gonna sink out here. Like, to you peoples. Okay, so that what he want me to speak on, because I've been saying a lot of stuff this week, and it just really dealing with like realignment, stuff like that. In dream, a lot of people have been speaking on They trying to get rid of the middle class. Like, they just trying to get rid of them. Like, either you gonna be high class or you gonna be low class. But that middle working class, they trying to remove that altogether. They trying to remove that whole system. So you gonna either fall at the top or you gonna fall at the bottom in this new system that they trying to work on creating. And while they doing it, you gonna have to reposition yourself right now. You is gonna have to reposition yourself, or you gonna be at that bottom class right there. You're gonna be at the lower class. So they trying to get rid of that middle working class completely. You're gonna have to take extra steps to be in that higher upper class, or you're gonna automatically fall into the lower class, like automatically. So based on what I was saying in my interpretation from the dream, and I'm not gonna speak on it because it was so much, I don't know if I can even put it into words, but I'm giving you the warning that God is saying, realign yourself. This is grace. Do not take his grace and do not take time for granted like you've been doing in the past. Like all that grace and all that stuff you've been doing in the past, it ain't gonna work for the future. It ain't gonna work for the future. So what you need to be doing, to you peoples out here, I always say to you peoples, realigning yourself. God telling you go to school. God telling you get a trade. But you better reposition yourself out here, because where you at, especially if you in that working middle class, you got very little time. You got very little time to figure it out. And you don't want it to come crashing down on you in this process. Like, you want to already be positioned where you ain't trying to pull yourself out and pull yourself up. And if you do it now during this grace period that God is giving you, it's a very short grace period. The resources and what you got available and accessible to you now will not be accessible to you in the future. It will not be there. So if you working and your job pay for you to go to school, you need to be using your job to pay for your school. Because later on, you're going to be trying to figure out how to go to school and you're not going to have a job to pay for it. And it's going to be hard on you. And you could have did it the easy way, but you didn't take advantage of God's grace. You didn't manage your time, man, right? You didn't manage your time and what God is giving you. And so you're going to be trying to pull your way up, and life going to be way harder for you than what it would have been if you would have better prepared yourself. So if God got these doors, these windows open, even through your jobs and stuff that you're working through, and God is, and through your job will pay for you to go to school, you need to be going to school. You need to have your jobs paying for your school. That's what you need to be doing. So use any and every available resource. God said you any and every available resource for you to get to where you need to get to, so you can be better positioned out here. That's what he's saying. So I had a lot of dreams today, dealing somewhat with what I'm talking about right now. and me being just a faithful servant, and me just getting out all this wisdom, knowledge of God, but me just being his voice and his mouthpiece. And he don't want to see his people fail. He don't want to see you at the bottom struggling. You know, people, the hate is real out here. It's people that really want to see you suffer. God don't want to see you suffering. So people like me, people he put in position that's outside of time, getting you the rundown on what's going on. I'm letting you know right now, it's gonna be critical out here. For real. So me, this God awesome. This is free. People charge for what I'm telling you. People charge you to tell you, hey, you need to be getting in school. You need to use your job to pay for your school. Like people will capitalize off of the gifts of God, but God already paid the price and it's free. So when I speak and what I speak and say when I say and I'm not putting no price on what God already paid the price for. I'm not doing it. Okay, y'all. So God told me to tell y'all get in school. If you got a way with your job pay for your school, okay. If you got a way for other means for your school to get paid, other ways to get certain certificates or whatever you need to get so you can reestablish yourself, you got a very thin line and very little time to do all of what you need to do out here. You need to be going hard with repositioning yourself. You really do need to be going hard, because the time you think you got, you ain't got. Okay, so God want me to speak on Donald Trump. But before I speak on Donald Trump, don't y'all remember when I was speaking on don't give your pearl to swine, don't give what is holy to dogs? The thing about pearl, swine and dogs is they don't have a sense of fulfillment. Like no matter what they do is never enough. Like no matter how much you feed a pig or dog, they're gonna eat. Like they're not gonna never not eat. Like you have to control what they eat, what they don't eat, or they just will, boom, they'll blow up and pop if you let them. So the nature of a dog and swine is that they just constantly eat. It's just like this emptiness, this void. And the more you feed them, the more they want. And so when you deal with the valuables and you deal with what God considers sacred, and God said, don't give your pearl to swine, don't give what is holy to dogs. He looking at the nature of a pig and dog with the fact that they just not gonna value it. Like it's nothing you could do to make a swine, somebody with the spirit of a swine or the spirit of a dog, value what you value. Like you can't shove that down their throat and say, okay, yeah, this is important to me, so it should be important to you too. Like you can't do that with pigs and swine. And these are spiritual pigs and swine, metaphorically. People that take, like it's no sense. It's no sense of stopping. Like the more you give, the more they want, the more like and the Bible say they'll turn to attack you. So you'll end up being a victim of whatever is going on when you give away anything that's valuable or sacred. That's just the fruit that's just what you gonna reap behind it. That's just what you gonna reap behind it for not valuing what's sacred and holy by giving it to pig and swine. So you finna suffer too in this equation. So when I was speaking on that, I was using material because most people, they in the carnal mind, so they always look at valuable as material, money-wise. But God said, no, spiritual too. He said it could be something spiritual. Okay, spiritual could be like your gifts, like me, and I got a prophetic gift. I can't give my gift to swine. I can't give what I got to pigs out here, pigs and dogs, for them to trample over the gift that God gave me. I got to value that. I got to protect that. I got to have boundaries up. I got to have a wall in place, or it's gonna get trampled on. They're gonna attack me in this process. So I got to even value, protect the good and the valuable that God has given me, including the time, like my gift. Not only my gift, my peace. I gotta protect my peace. I can't just be giving my peace out here to swines and dogs that don't have a care in the world. Cause I'm gonna be the victim at the end of the day. My peace gonna be stripped from me. Your time. That's something that's valuable. You can't just give your time to everybody, y'all. To pigs and dogs and swine. That's going to trample. I ain't got a care in the world for your time that you got. You only got 24 hours in a day, y'all. So God said, even though I put in the carnal sense, it's spiritual too. So you got spiritual gifts. You just got anything that's of value. God said you have to protect and value that. You can't just give it to the world. It's not for the world to take, because they're not going to value it like you. And it's nothing you can do to make them value that. Even your freedom. Us in America, we gave I told you we gave what was holy to dogs, and we gave our pearls to swine. Our freedom. So we giving our freedom away. So in the process of all of what we have given, that God has established in America for us, our fruits on this earth, we have opened ourselves up to the point where we even threw our freedom out to the dogs and to the swine. We even did that. Here, y'all, everybody come over here. Everybody can be free. But in the process of you trying to give out what was valuable, what God said is valuable to you, to the world, you're going to lose in the process. So your freedoms might get lost in this process. Yeah. So this all, I'm just getting a little detail, because I want you to open and expand your mind, a Pandora box. So I want you to open up your mind and not think so carnal with valuable, and open your mind like valuable. What's valuable? Like even your home. Okay, God give you a house. You can't let everybody in your house. I'm gonna tell you this now. God came to me in a vision, and he gave me a very stern warning. He said, you cannot have company. He told me I cannot have no company in my house. He said, because when I have company in my house, he said, I invite their demons too. So even when it comes to you and your house, you can't just have your house open for everybody. Like, you just can't do that. because with you accepting those people, you also accept their demons. And God told me, now somebody else might be different, because God do move with people differently, but with me, God said I cannot open up my home because for that reason, because he said the demons, he said you are receiving their demons too. And in dream, he got me a very stern warning about that. And some people open their homes up to people, and when they open their homes up to these certain people now, with the spirit of this dog and swine, it's a spirit, and it's attached to the dog and swine, and it's just like this, like void that can never be filled. And they always take. No matter what you do, it's never good enough. They're gonna want more and more and more out of you. And it's no sense of I need to stop. This is good enough. I'm content. Like it's nothing, none of that when you're dealing with swine and dogs. Even now, if you feed a dog or feed a swine, they're just gonna eat. You put food in their bowl, they're gonna eat the whole bowl. They ain't even hungry. They just eating just because it's in there. That's the nature of them. So when you deal with your house and your home, you might open up your home to somebody. But you gotta get with God. Make sure God give you discernment that you can open your home up. Because you can't just open your home up to anybody and think God is proud of you. You might lose your house in the process. You heard a plenty of story with people that open their home up trying to help somebody, and that person say that, oh, I'm gonna give you half on the rent, then they don't give you half on the rent, and then y'all got to try to put them out, and then you trying to put them out, they trample on you and attack you in this process. Some people, they houses have, like been damaged from helping people. They done been out of damage. They been out of like them helping somebody, they tore their whole house up. They just tore the whole house up. The spirit of the pig and the swine and the dog, they tore the whole house up without a care in the world. And you supposed to be helping them. And they turn around and attack you. So God just said, you discernment. You have to use discernment during this period of time. You cannot just feel like everybody that you see is somebody that God wants you to help, because that might not be the case. They might just be reaping what they sow, and they have sown bad seeds in the earth, and they just reaping the fruit of that. And then you jumping in thinking you saving the day, jumping in the fruit that they been dealing with and what they got going on. You think you gonna save the day, but God don't operate, God don't move like that. God said you will reap what you sow. So if you sow good seed, you get good fruit. If you sow bad seed, you get bad fruit. So in this process, you can't go against the law that God got established with fruit. Like people can't sow bad seeds and then you decide you gonna give them your good fruit. Like it goes against the law of the principle of sowing and reaping and harvest. I'm trying to find a word. Because you reap what you sow, but then you sowing good fruit. But this other person sowing bad fruit. But then you think you're going to intercept what they got going on, and you're going to get them the good fruit that God gave you, and they can't reap the bad fruit that they supposed to reap from what the seeds they have sown. You interfering with God with it. Like you're in God's way now. Once you get to a point where you feel like a person sow bad seeds, but they supposed to get good fruit, that is when you call good evil and evil good. Like that is when you calling good evil and evil good. You got a reprobate mind. You feel like somebody doing bad, but they supposed to get good fruit. Because the Bible clearly say if you sow bad seed, you get bad fruit. If you sow good seed, you get good fruit. So if that's the case, and they've been sowing bad seed, it's only a matter of time before they receive a harvest from all the bad that they've been sowing in the earth. And if you think you're going to intercept the bad that they supposed to get your good, shoot, God said they're going to trample over you and attack you too. Get out his way. When it comes to that, get out God's way. When people reaping what they sow, and you feel like you want to step in the way and say today, you're going to suffer too. For getting in the way and feeling like you can go against the law that God established within the earth. It don't work like that. If they sow bad seeds, they're going to get bad fruit. If you sow bad seeds, you're going to get bad fruit. If you sow good seeds, you're going to get good fruit. But you can't use your good fruit to try to give to them while they got a harvest of their own, all this bad that's supposed to be going on and happening to them, and you think you're going to save the day. Why you think you're going to be saved today? Mr. Saved today? And you like, ooh, come in my house. They going to bend and tow your whole house up. And you can't get rid of them. You're going to be going to court trying to evict them. Like, it's going to be hell on earth. Because you try to step in the divine laws that God established within the earth. You sow a good seed, you reap good fruit. You sow a bad seed, you reap bad fruit. But you want to step in and you think the law don't apply to you. And you can actually save this person who got a harvest coming for the bad that they have sown in the world. You're going to get trampled on too in this process. Okay, y'all. So, I'm going to read this right here. It's dealing with what God was saying about, Trump. And a lot of people, they have this, like they trying to use their own knowledge. God said, I understand it's not his understanding. So when it comes to Trump, people trying to figure out is he Christian or not. Whether he Christian or not, his beliefs are so traditional that it line up with Christianity. Like his beliefs are just so traditional. He just so old fashioned to the point where his beliefs actually align with Christianity. So in my dream, because I told you that people going to make an idol out of Trump. I told you that Trump is going to be in violation with God. Even if Trump in violation with God, God appointed him. So I can't put my mouth on Trump because God has appointed him. So you're not going to see me say nothing dealing with it because that's who God has chosen. So people try to, like, I'm going back to this. In the dream that I had today, I was speaking on Trump in the dream, and the words that I said was, Trump is an appointed prophet here to tear down the altars that have been built up on this soil. He's here to tear down these altars. He's appointed to tear down the demonic altars, whether he know it or not. He's so old-fashioned. He turned down altars and don't even know he turned down the altars. Like, really. He's so old-fashioned. He ain't got to be a Christian. His beliefs is so old-fashioned. He's so traditional that what he believes is in alignment with the Bible itself. So when he say no more like sex change surgeries for the kids and transgender surgeries for children, when he banned it, he's turned that altar down. And so even though he might not even be a Christian, but his beliefs are so traditional that, hey, this is wrong and it's no more. So God told me in the vision, and I was speaking in the vision, I was speaking on Trump. I was like, he's the prophet of the past, of the Old Testament. He sent her, and he sent her to destroy tear down all these old altars. So if you see an altar where they like, okay, everybody can go in the bathroom, he's so traditional and old fashioned, he ain't even got to be a Christian. He's so traditional and old fashioned that he said, no, it's two genders, male, female. You one or the other. So it don't even this right here ain't even Christianity ain't got nothing to even deal with this right here. This is just he old fashioned, he traditional, and his traditional so old fashioned it actually aligned with the Bible. So many people have drifted off from the Bible. He still got like his foundation, whether he Christian or not, it's in alignment with the Bible. He's so old fashioned. He ain't even got to be like, thus said the Lord. He just like, no, this is wrong. And when you look in the Bible, it's wrong. God funny. Let me stop. I'm tickled about it. So, I told you that Trump gonna be in violation with God. But that's the same with David. God used David, but David constantly was in violation with God. David was not perfect. David then went, took a man's wife, then killed the man. Like, David did a lot now, but he still was God-appointed person. So don't think that just because a person did something, they not appointed by God. Moses was used by God and killed a man. He murdered a man, but he still used by God. You better not speak on Moses. I don't care if Moses is a murderer. You better not put your mouth on him. And God appointed him. That's how I feel about Trump. I'm like, yeah, Trump ain't perfect. I don't want you to think I'm out here like worshiping him like the golden calf, but I know who to put my mouth on, who not, and I know if God appointed a person, I plead the fifth. Cause I can't do it. I'm prophetic. And I'm not allowed to touch and say nothing about him. So I'm finna read this right here. Because this is dealing with Trump and where he finna and where he finna be in violation with God in. But not only is he gonna be in violation with God, him being in violation of God and he's the leader over America, it's gonna impact all of America. It's not gonna impact him directly. It's gonna impact all of America. So when I say, ooh, y'all pray for Trump, if he's our leader and God appointed him and he get out of alignment with God, we gonna suffer. We the ones that gonna suffer. So when I read this right here, because God, he gave me the revelation. So I told you in the other video that I probably been reading 2 Samuel 24 because he's dealing with Trump. So it say David census Israel and Judah. So when it say David census Judah and census David and Judah in 2 Samuel, this same thing is spoken of in 1 Chronicle 21. See, and it's a piece missing out of 2 Samuel 24. So I'm going to read this chronicle because it tell you why he was in violation. 2 Samuel 24 do not tell you why. It don't even give you, it don't even let you know. It like they pulled that out. But when I go to this chronicle, it tell me exactly why it was in violation. So David is before the people. And what I'm going to read this first because I haven't read it. I read it with y'all so God can give me the revelation right there. But I never knew why, because I was reading 2 Samuel 24 and I got saying, what he do wrong? Like, what was wrong with it? Like, it wasn't nothing wrong. Like, that's how it was about him creating a census for Israel. He was in full violation with God for doing it. Me reading 2 Samuel, I couldn't never figure it out. But when I get the chronicle, it's the same story, but it got one verse above it, and I'm finna read the verse above it. Because let me show you Samuel. 2 Samuel 24. It started out with 2 Samuel 24:1 started out with, again, the anger of the Lord was roused against Israel. He moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. I was confused. I was just so confused with that. I was like, what's going on? Like, what he doing? Like, why he mad? I could never figure it out when I read Samuel. But when I get to 1 Chronicle, I see why. So 1 Chronicle 21. Verse 1, it say the census of Judah. Because I want y'all to see this. I'm finna flip this so y'all can see this for real. I'm finna flip this and I'm finna flip it. I'm finna flip the page so y'all can see what I'm talking about with this. So this right here, it's like David census Israel and Judah, and this is coming out of 2 Samuel verse 24. So you see how it started out. It say, again, the anger of the Lord was roused against Israel. And he moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Judah. You see, that's what it say. So God kept sending me to 2 Samuel, and I couldn't help figure out what he did wrong. Like, it wasn't nothing for me. Like, my spirit just would not understand what he actually did wrong. So then I see the same thing dealing with but it's rewritten in 1 Chronicle 21. And so let me show you what it's saying now and how the verse started out now with the same incident. So right here, this is 1 Chronicles 21. And it say the census of Israel and Judah. But you see the first sentence, it say, now Satan. Now Satan. See, Satan had tempted David. That was the problem. And the other verse, it don't tell you that Satan tempted him. But this right here, it telling you Satan tempted David. So David was tempted. But if you read, it's the same incident. And this right here clearly says Satan had something to do with David deciding to censor Israel. When you read the other chapter 2 Samuel, the part that dealing with Satan is taken out. So I'm going to read this right here because he's dealing with Trump. So it say, now Satan stood up against Israel and moved David to number Israel. So David said to Joab and to the leaders of the people, go number Israel for Beersheba to Dan, and bring the number to them to me. Wait, bring the number of them to me that I may know it. And Joab answered, may the Lord make his people 100 times more than they are. But my Lord, the king, are they not all my Lord's servants? Why then does my Lord require this thing? Why should he be a cause of guilt in Israel? Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. Therefore Joab departed, went throughout all Israel, and came to Jerusalem. Then Joab gave the sum of the number of the people to David. All Israel had 1,100,000 men who drew the sword, and Judah had 470,000 men who drew the sword. But he did not count Levi and Benjamin among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab, and God was displeased with this thing. Therefore he struck Israel. So David said to God, I have sinned greatly because I have done this thing. But now I pray, take away the iniquity. Okay, y'all, I'm going to stop it there, but it's a lot. So basically, when you read, because this not in 2 Samuel. In 2 Samuel, it don't even tell you Satan even influenced David. It just say David counted the people. But when I go to Chronicle, it clearly tell you Satan was the one that told him to even count the people. God didn't want his people to be counted. David had this pride. Pride came on David, just like pride is on Trump. That don't mean Trump out of alignment with God. It just pride has entered him. And so, because of pride led him to do something that was totally against God and count the army. And so now I'm finna read an article about the why, because we might not understand why God was so like mad about him counting the army like that. So I'm right here, I'm reading just a little article about it. It said David constructed a census of Israel out of pride and a shift toward relying on military strength rather than trusting God. So he relied on military strength and pride instead of trusting God. Trump is relying on military strength and pride instead of trusting God. Okay, likely intended to assess potential for taxation or conscription, prompted by Satan. So David disregarded the warning that Joab and failed to follow the required religious protocol, resulting in a plague. So because the leader, David, had pride and he was in the wrong with God, the people suffered. A plague came on the whole land. A plague came before the people. All the people end up dying behind it. So when I say pray for Trump, you're going to be impacted. If he out of alignment with God and he is our leader over America, the punishment is going to trickle down to the people of the land. Your sons and daughters going to be a part of what's going on. They gonna be the ones you gonna watch them suffer in this process. It's very critical that you hope and pray Trump stay in alignment with God. Because if he get out of alignment with God, your loved ones is gonna be the ones that suffer in the end. Then what happened? A plague came on the whole land just because David decided out of pride. And he felt like his military was so strong, and the strength of his military, he put his trust in the military and in the head count and numbers and his pride and ego as opposed to God. He drifted away from God. It caused the whole land to be plagued. So let's see what it says. Reliance on military might. After years of victory, David's focus shifted from divine protection to the size of his army, indicating a lack of faith. So he didn't have a lack of faith. It was a shift. You know how like sometimes you be out of alignment, but sometimes it's so easy to get out of alignment with God. Like you have to pray daily that God keep you in alignment. Like the smallest thing can shift your alignment. And even with David, him deciding to have a head count on his military and depend on military strength rather than God, it threw him out of alignment. He was out of alignment. So and even with Trump leading us and him having all this power and us being a superpower over the world, it's real easily, like it's so easy to get to get out of alignment, for your shift to shift out of God and then shift into pride, ego, and the military and the power that we got. And the power came from God. It's real easy to shift out of there, y'all. You in the flesh, you got all that power. It's very easy, especially if you have ungodly counsel. See, David, he got godly counsel, so he got a seer. He got prophets around telling him, God, man, you doing this, you doing that. Like, he got that around him. Trump don't have that godly counsel like the other leaders had when they was leading such a large superpower. So that's why I said pray for Trump. So I say pride and vanity. The census was likely to boast about the extent of his kingdom's power. So he really was just pride and vanity. And he was just boasting about how powerful his military was. So he really did count the people in vain. Like, it wasn't no reason to even count them. Like, why? It was just to stroke his ego. Neglect of law. According to Exodus 30:12, a census required a ransom to be paid to the Lord for each person to prevent a plague, which David did not enforce. So when he created that census, he was in violation with a law for even creating this census. So he was in violation. It say the consequence. The census resulted in a 3-day plague in which 70,000 men died, a consequence of both David's sin and potentially the underlying sin of the nation. This action represented a move toward behaving like a typically earthly king rather than a leader under God's, the true king's authority. So when you look at that, that's why it was like, because me, I could never figure it out. I'm like, what he do wrong? Okay, he counted the people. What he do wrong? It was the spirit in which he did it. He wasn't operating in the spirit of God when he decided to count the people. Some as little as counting the people got God mad. So God wants you to trust in him. He don't want you to look at how many people you got in your supporting you to do what he wants you to do out here. He wants you to solely depend on him. That's why I said, if God be for you, who could be against you? Like, it's me and God against the world out here. Like, I'm not trying to do no head count. I don't need no million people following up behind me to do what God want me to do. That's called divine favor. I don't need no earthly favor from no man to do what can be divinely done with just me. So, y'all, God want me to speak on it. Because to me, when I heard Trump, it's dealing with that right there. And when you read this, it's in 1 Chronicle. 1 Chronicle tell you Satan influenced and tempted David. Satan tempted David to do that. Satan did it. So he was all the way out of alignment with God when he decided that he was so strong, powerful, and he wanted to stroke his ego just to see how many people he really had on his team. And the people end up being a plague, end up coming to the land behind the leader of that country, falling out of alignment with God, listening to Satan. A plague came on the land. All the people suffered behind it. Did God do something to David behind that? No. So y'all might be thinking, ooh, I hope something happened to Trump. Like, do you know the connection is going to be it's going to plague the land. It's going to plague the people. God never said, I'm going to kill you because you disobeyed me. God said, now what's going to happen is a plague going to come to the land, and 70,000 people died in that plague. But David wasn't part of that plague that he created through his disobedience, through his pride, through his vanity. David had to watch the people suffer. Now that probably hurt and destroyed him. But David himself, he still going on as king in this process. Like, he's still pushing on. So that's how it is. Like, sometimes you think like, ooh, I hope something happened to him. I hope. You do know you directly connected to Trump, right, y'all? So you do know that if we do go to a war, which we will go to a war, your sons and daughters is going to be who drafted. That's going to be who impacted, your loved ones. So whether you like him or not, you love your sons and daughters, right? You trying to keep them protected, right? Okay, well, you pray for that person right there, whether you like them or not. That's what you do, because you don't pray for that person and that person don't lead us and be in alignment with God with some of these decisions, your sons and daughters are going to be impacted. They're going to be forced to go to a war, and it's going to get very ugly. And I'm not getting into no detail with it. So it's going to impact your sons and daughters. So sometimes in our minds, especially if you are the world and you earthly, you got ulterior motive. So your motive is Shoot, it don't impact me. Shoot, if he die, ain't gonna impact me. It will impact you. It's gonna impact your generation, your bloodline, your whole bloodline gonna be impacted by this. So if something happened to this person and your sons and daughters go off to war, shoot, that might be the end of that generation. If that person die in war, if something bad happened to that person, God forbid. So you pray for this person, but don't pray for this person because your loved one. But I'm telling you, your loved one's connected to this. The generation behind you is connected to this. The extent of your generation is connected to this. So if something happened to this person, just like the 70,000 died, yeah, the generation just boom, just cut off. They can't reproduce. They can't have family. They dead. 7,000 people died behind the plague because it was because of David and the choice that he made through his ego to count the military. So y'all, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all enjoy y'all day, but yeah, I'm trying to think. God, did I touch on everything? I'm probably gonna end up reading this again because I kind of rushed through it. It's a lot. I told y'all it's a lot dealing with it. That's why I had broke this video up. And sometimes I try to read in between the lines, and I didn't really read in between the lines. The only thing I read was when David said, God, you judge me and not people. Like, I'd rather you be the judge and not man. David already know if he going into the hands of man, they probably would have been like, we stoning him alive. But you see, through God, God preserved him, but God killed 70,000 behind him, though. You see that, don't it? I feel let y'all go. Y'all enjoy y'all day.